Hi everyone, welcome to week 2 of 606. I hope you had a good first week getting things organized and kind of finding your way through things. This is kind of a time of figuring out your rhythm in class, how to juggle your life, your work, schoolwork, getting everything organized so it makes sense to you. So be patient with yourselves as time goes on. This does get easier. It seems to make more sense, and you get into more of a rhythm and flow, and goes a little bit more smoothly. So give yourself some grace. It will get easier as time goes on. I'd like to just go over what we've done in the past week. So this week you had the forum, and it looks like people have been doing their readings and commenting and sharing some insight on themselves, which is really helpful, especially just starting off into grad school. If this is your first semester, or even if it's your third semester, this can be very helpful information and give you some insight as to maybe why some things are harder for you, and why different things come easier to you. So it's really good to use. As midwives, we do a lot of teaching, so it's helpful to know and to be aware of different ways that people learn and ways that we can engage them in ways that make the most sense to them. So good job on that. Just as a reminder, going forward, forums, your initial post is due by Thursday at 11:55 p.m. And then you need to comment on 2 other people's posts by Sunday at noon, and those responses have to be at least 250 words and have some substance to them. Don't just say, oh, I like what you said here. You have to kind of have some open-ended discussion to encourage the conversation to keep going if possible. And then lastly, remember that if anyone comments on your post, your initial post, you need to respond to them. So, and I believe that goes until Sunday also by about noon. So if they don't respond to you by noon, then you're no longer held responsible for responding to them. So it sounds confusing. It will get easier as time goes on. And remember to use at least one scholarly source in your initial post that is not from your textbook. So another one, you can certainly use your textbook, but make sure you use at least one other one. So going forward into week 2, we're looking more at assessing the whole person. Your readings this week include Jarvis, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, just pages 16 through 21, and then all of Chapters 6 and 7. We have another forum that's due this week, and it's on substance abuse and domestic violence. We'll open that. Sorry, my power just went out. It's a sunny day, nothing's going on, so not sure what happened there, but it's back. But maybe things are a little slow for that reason. So in this forum, you're going to just select one of the options below as your initial post, and then you're going to respond to a classmate that has addressed the opposite forum post. So in this case, this week, you only need to respond to one person, as opposed to typically when you would respond to 2. So in option 1 is talking about more issues with substance abuse. We want you to look at the community you're in and see what the most prevalent substance that's being abused is. Talk about some red flags that you might notice if someone was abusing any of these substances. That could be assessed during clinic visit or a triage, and it doesn't have to be whether they're pregnant or not, doesn't matter. Just looking more into substance abuse there and what's happening in your area. In our area, I tend to want to be a little bit naive, but I think number 1, of course, is alcohol, but meth is here. It seems to be going down, but every once in a while we'll see pockets of it again. So that's what we tend to see in this area. Then option 2 talks about interpartner violence, such as rape, stalking, physical assault, and how those are higher in minority groups. and very little research exists about the effectiveness of screening and prevention efforts among racial and ethnic minorities and the effectiveness of therapeutic interventions. So we want you to look into the literature about this and find out why that might be. What are the barriers that are preventing us from being able to screen people effectively for these issues, and then offer up any solutions that the researchers maybe suggest, or some insight you might have on that. And then again, respond to one person who has chosen the opposite topic for you for this week. And some of you have already gotten going on that, so very good. It looks like everyone's chosen option 1 thus far, so if you haven't picked your topic, maybe you'd want to look into option 2. So we can go back to this week. Whoops. Then going forward into week 2, your forum, and then would like you to start looking at the adult education paper that will be coming. And that will be due by the end of this week as well. So read through the requirements for that. We can read them together here. One of my nursing instructors once said, you can develop the greatest care plan in the world, but if it doesn't work for your patients, it just won't work. So this is talking about adult education in healthcare, of course. And for this paper, think back to a patient teaching situation that you maybe have recently had. And without violating HIPAA, so be careful, you can talk about something you've worked with the patient, but don't use their name, of course. Describe the situation and the educational needs of the patient. Apply the 6th assumption of Knowles' model, similar to what was done in the article that was listed in that week's reading. And which of the assumptions did you find the easiest to relate to and apply to teaching, and why, and which were the most difficult to apply and why? Your paper should be 2 to 4 pages in length. You don't include the title page or the reference page, and you have to use proper APA formatting. And again, the 7th edition. So if you've not used APA for a while, things have refreshed a few years ago. So make sure you're referencing your resources on APA 7th edition. This is a Turnitin assignment, so upload your assignment as a Word file to the assignment link in Moodle. You don't need to make a separate submission to Turnitin. You should, however, return to the assignment page after submitting your work to view your Turnitin originality report. So this is just confirming that you're not plagiarizing anything. And your goal is to have under 15% matching in the report. And you could submit your paper as many times as you want. So if you initially use Turnitin and it's, say, 20% matching, go back in, see where the problems are, make some adjustments, submit it again until you get under 15% of matching, and then submit it finally. There's some further information here about how you use that. Oh my gosh, people have submitted that already too. Good job. So that's what's coming up for this week. You can look ahead to week 4 if you'd like to, if you get that far. Week 4, you'll be doing an adult women's health history paper, and you might want to look ahead just to see who potential person could be that you could interview. Let's look at that, if it would open. So you need to identify an adult non-family member who meets the following criteria. They have an acute health problem, they have at least one chronic health problem, and they cannot be adopted. And the reason they can't be adopted is because we need you to complete the genogram that's included in that. So they cannot be an adopted person. But look through that. It might give you a little jump start and make it a little bit easier for you as time goes on. So I'd like to just finish this week with a little devotion, which I thought was helpful for week 2 to keep you a little bit focused. And this is from Jesus Calling, and it says, "Trust me in the midst of your messy day. Your inner calm, your peace in my presence need not be shaken by what is going on around you. Though you live in this temporal world, your innermost being is rooted and grounded in eternity. When you start to feel stressed, detach yourself from the disturbances around you. Instead of desperately striving to maintain order and control in your little world, relax and remember that circumstances cannot touch my peace. Seek my face, and I will share my mind with you, opening your eyes to see things from my perspective. Do not let your heart be troubled, and do not be afraid. The peace I give is sufficient for you. I hope this gives you a little direction and some grounding for this upcoming week. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Again, use that general discussion forum. It's helpful for everyone because often more than one person has the same question. Take care and enjoy your week.